Welcome to the Enterprise Infrastructure Solutions Agency Pricer Overview. This is intended to provide you with an understanding of the functionality of the EIS Agency Pricer tools and how these pricer tools can assist in the research and validation of telecommunications pricing. Similar to the Networks program, there are two EIS pricer sets of tools, a public pricer and an agency pricer. Access to the EIS Agency Pricer is by request only. Individuals who previously had access to the Network Agency Pricer should have received an email from GSA with how-to instructions to gain access to the EIS Agency Pricer. For individuals requesting access to the EIS Agency Pricer for the first time, go to the EIS Interact page shown here and open the Pricer Access Request Form article. Follow the directions. The 3 forms need to be completed and submitted to the NHC Help Desk. The NHC Help Desk will forward the forms to GSA to begin the approval process. Once approved, the Help Desk will contact the user with instructions and access credentials. Access to the EIS Agency Pricer is via this URL. For those who have used the Networks Agency Pricer, you will find the concepts are the same, but you'll notice the new interface is easier to get through and the new functionality more intuitive. Let's take a look at some of the pricer's features. To begin, ensure your PIV card is in the laptop slot. Click on the PIV Access icon. Review the certificate displayed to ensure it is the correct one before clicking on the OK to confirm your credentials. If the certificate is incorrect, to view a list of certificates, select More Choices, click on the correct certificate, and click OK. Type in your PIN to access the NHC Secure Portal. The portal page will display. Type in your NHC password. The portal options displayed in the portal may differ between individuals depending on your permissions. To access the EIS Agency Pricer, click on the EIS Agency Pricer icon. This brings us to the home screen for the EIS Agency Pricer. It contains 4 information panels as well as methods to access the various tools. The Overview panel details some of the functionality of the Agency Pricer as well as some direct links to external resources, for instance, a link to the GSA EIS website. On the right-hand side of the page, you will find a Resources panel. The CLINs link opens a CSV file that contains EIS CLIN numbers, CLIN descriptive names, service IDs, and other CLIN detail information. The next link is the EIS Pricing Concepts document, which introduces basic pricing concepts for the GSA EIS contracting vehicle. This document explains concepts such as groups of EIS services, pricing components, and types of EIS CLINs. For instance, with the functionality of the tool, the Contact panel provides an email address that accepts questions and requests as well as a phone number to support personnel. The last panel is the Recent Changes panel. This is a list of modifications submitted, approved, and integrated into the agency and public pricers. To access the tools, there is a carousel of panels which transitions through some of the available tools. The arrows can be used to move between the panels. To open a tool, click on one of the transition panels. To return to the home screen, click on the GSA EIS Agency Pricer logo. The tools can also be selected from the Tools drop-down menu. The various tools are listed in alphabetical order. However, to illustrate the functionality of the tools, we'll demonstrate each, starting with clicking on Changes from the Tools drop-down menu. As we saw on the Home Page Changes panel, the Changes tool lists all integrated modifications and tools changes. A few recent changes are listed here. The Contract Mods tool displays a list of contract modifications. To narrow the list per vendor, click on the Vendor drop-down. You can also search for mods with a string value. Click within the search field and type in IPVS as an example. The list of contract mods that match your search will pop up. Once a contract mod is selected, a Summary tab displays with information from the mod. The next tab over lists the CLINs referenced in the mod, and the last tab lists associated tables that will be changed or are new. To view an archive of the unredacted versions of the contracts from the Tools dropdown, click on Contract Files. This is one of the tools that is only in the Agency Pricer, not the Public Pricer. There are links to the various contract documents per vendor. Under each vendor, there are several types of documents. To view the documents, click on one of the vendor-named folders. Then click on the various contract file types. The document types include technical, management, past performance, business, subcontracting, price, and solicitation. Double-click on any file and the related documents will display. To download a copy of the document, click the Download button. Be careful when selecting Download All, as the files can be large and might take several minutes or so to download. The Awarded Items tool depicts which vendors were awarded the various core-based statistical areas, CBSAs. As you can see at the bottom right of the panel, there are 929 CBSAs listed. This list will remain static throughout the life of the contract. For EIS, Nobless used the set of 929 CBSAs that were specified when the EIS pricing model was defined. While OMB has updated that list in the intervening years, EIS will continue to use these 929. The Awarded CBSAs view depicts if the vendor is awarded a given CBSA. For instance, BT Federal was not awarded the Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Newport News, Virginia, North Carolina area. This is notated with a dash as the value. The yes indicates award to the vendor. The list is ordered by CBSA rank, which is defined as the consumption of bandwidth by federal agencies. The Services view is ordered by service name and provides a picture of whether the vendor was awarded the various services or not. These available services may change based on vendor's request for modification and subsequent GSA approval of the request. You will note, if we scroll to Internet Protocol Voice Service, all the vendors were awarded this service, while for Internet Protocol Service, only 7 of the 10 were awarded the service. On the Vendor CBSA view, each row contains a CBSA, and the columns indicate if the selected vendor was awarded that CBSA. The awarded mandatory voice service is noted with a blue highlight. For instance, for AT&T, the mandatory voice service is IPVS. However, for Verizon Federal, it's CSVS. The last view is the vendor country jurisdiction. There are 270 country jurisdictions listed. This view indicates services awarded for the selected vendors. Click the vendor dropdown to switch between vendors. For instance, AT&T and Level 3 offer services in varying locations. If you needed to view the data, it's a different order. The list can be downloaded as a CSV file via the Download button. The Address Lookup tool provides functionality to search on an address. The tool will determine its network site code, NSC, and CBSA, as well as depict the relationships on a map. For instance, typing in 2565 Van Buren Street, Eugene, Oregon, and pressing the Enter key will return 2 entries. If the zip code of the address is known, typing in the zip code will assist in more quickly narrowing in on the desired address to select via the search, or just select the correct one from the initial list. The result of search details the NSC, the core-based statistical area, as well as the normalized address. The match indicator beside each address displays the type of address match found. The type of match returned for this address is approximate match. The map depicts the location and the nearest NSC. If we hover over each pin, the NSC and the location are displayed. To quickly locate points of interest, use the various map buttons, for instance, the address, NSC, or CBSA buttons. An exact match means the address is also the NSC. This is represented by a single pin. For an example of an exact match, let's type in 1800 F Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. To check if certain services are available at the address NSC or CBSA, click the Check Service Availability button. The list of available services by vendor is displayed with the blue highlight indicating their mandatory voice service. To find out more about the abbreviations for the services, click the Learn More button. To convert a large set of addresses to their corresponding network site code, click on the Bulk Address Lookup tab. This is one of the tools that is only in the agency pricer, not the public pricer. The list of addresses must be in CSV file format. The addresses must only be in the first column and do not include a header row. Once the file is ready, click the Upload button. Browse to and select the file to upload. Then click the Upload button. The file is uploaded once the processing is no longer displaying. However, it is processing in the background on the server, so you can do other tasks and it will continue to run. Once processing is no longer displayed, click Download, or double-click on an entry. The results file contains the addresses uploaded, as well as the normalized address, the match type, and CBSA information. To assist in management of the uploaded files, use the Rename and Delete functions under the Gear drop-down. Let's take a look at a larger spreadsheet of addresses. Since this file is larger, we have already uploaded the file. In reviewing the results for the IPS set of addresses, we note that 241 out of 244 were converted. The process was unable to match 3 of the uploaded addresses to an NSC. Further investigation tells us the 3 addresses might be in a format that the pricer can't interpret. If we place one of the addresses in the single address lookup and remove anything other than a street, city, and state address, the correct address that will work with the bulk address lookup is shown. If you need help, there is a Help tab. The next tool, CBSA Lookup, provides a visual mapping of core-based statistical areas that can be filtered by awarded services, awarded vendors, and just the top 100 CBSAs. For any NSCs that do not fall within a CBSA, GSA chose to map those manually to the nearest CBSA by choosing the closest county within the same state that is assigned to a CBSA. To display various views of the CBSAs, click the drop-down for CBSAs. The CBSAs drop-down provides a view of all CBSAs by rank, for instance, the top 100. The other CBSAs link are those not in the top 100. The service drop-down will narrow the lookup to a specific type of service. For instance, we can scroll down to and click on Internet Protocol Voice Service. The vendor drop-down will narrow the lookup to the service within the CBSAs for a particular vendor. Let's use AT&T as an example. Here we see the number of CBSAs for AT&T. If we select Level 3, the CBSAs depicted on the map change. Clicking on an area will zoom into the area or region. To display the services per vendor within the selected CBSA, click on the Show Details button. Press the Close button to return to the CBSA view. Selecting the CONUS button will bring you back to the broader view of the map. The service guides are provided to assist in finding technical specifications, pricing basics, and helpful references for specific service. These guides are maintained and regularly reviewed by GSA. The service guides explain why an agency might select a particular service, each service's design, necessary components, associated CLINs, and additional resources. For instance, we can search for an example of a hosted IPv6 voicemail configuration. Scrolling through the selections of the Internet Protocol Voice Service Guide, we can find the CLINs associated with the service we searched for. These CLINs can be used to find pricing across vendors. These are the IPv6 CLINs for this example. CLINs for IPv6 hosted, VI21110 and VI22110, or CLINs for IPv6 voicemail box, VI21410 and VI22410. To next demonstrate the functionality of the unit pricer, we'll use these CLINs noted from the Internet Protocol Voice Service Service Guide for the following scenario. An agency located in the United States is converting part of their traditional circuit-switched phone service to a high-speed IP transport connection. They are researching the Internet Protocol Voice Service, which will enable the agency's Private Branch Exchange, or PBX, to connect to the contractor's IPv6 network. They want to check out pricing for 10 and 20 seats. The unit pricer walks you through the process and presents the necessary fields to complete. To begin, click on the Add Price button. The tool will walk you through the steps and the information you need. First, requesting a CLIN. You can click on Select CLIN or click on the Next Step or Previous Step buttons to move between steps. You can enter in a single CLIN number or a partial description, or you can select from the service dropdown. When using the search option, type in the terms IPv6 and press the Enter key. A listing of CLINs for that service will display. You can then review and select the one needed. However, since we already have the CLIN number, type in VI21110 and press the Enter key. Click on the correct CLIN and click on the Next Step button. Note that the CLIN remains at the top of the panel. The additional information requested is a location. On the right, the system tells you which table will be searched and any additional data that will be requested. Click on the CONUS prices and the Next Step button. On this panel, place in the quantity required. For this example, the pricing is per seat. Other CLINs will have measurements such as unit, circuit, ICB, and others. Type in 10 and press Next Step. The next step is to select the date range for which you want the pricing. The agency pricer, unlike the public pricer, will price out future years. For this CLIN, click on This Fiscal Year. Then press Next Step. The next inquiry is whether the pricing is on contract or from a specific list of task orders, or both. If custom selection is selected, you can type in a task order number or other criteria, and then you can select the correct value. For this scenario, let's select the first option, all on contract and task order prices, and press Next Step. Next, review the selections. If you need to make changes, you can click the Previous Step button, or click the section on the left. To price out the CLIN, click the Find Prices button. Results are returned. The CLIN may have associated CLINs which also need to be selected. To find or check for these, click on the Gear drop-down. Then click on View Associated CLINs. Note that one of the listed CLINs is also one of the CLINs we noted in the IPv6 Services Guide, VI22110. Click on the listed CLIN. Click on the Price CLIN button. The Add Price dialog displays with the CLIN already populated. Click on the CLIN and walk through the remaining section with these values. CONUS, 10, this fiscal year, all on-contract and task order prices, confirm selection. The associated CLIN is added to the results panel. There are still two CLINs to price out. We click on the Add Price button for the second CLIN. Type in VI21410 and press the Enter key. We will select the same values again, CONUS, this fiscal year, all on-contract and task order prices, confirm selections. Once again, check for any associated CLINs by clicking on the gear and clicking on View Associated CLINs. For this associated CLIN, 22410, we will select the same values as the original CLIN. CONUS, this fiscal year, all on-contract and task order prices, confirm selections. To see CLIN details, click on the CLIN description. Once you have the pricing, you can select to download results, save results set, where you will need to provide a name, clear results, and load results. The load results set will pull up your saved sets. To narrow the results to a specific vendor or vendors, you can shift-click to select more than one vendor. This feature can be used for ease of price comparisons. To delete, copy, and/or edit a CLIN VI 21110 in the result, click on the Gear drop-down. For instance, to change the seat count to 20, click on Edit. Click on the Select Quantity section. Type in 20 and click on the Next Step button. Then make the same modifications to the associated CLIN. If you have a list of CLINs in the CSV file format, the Inventories tool, found under the Tools drop-down, can be used to upload the list of CLINs to return their pricing. This is another tool that is only in the Agency Pricer. The CSV file must contain 3 mandatory columns. These columns are the CLIN number, the start date, and the stop date. Field names need to match those in the Pricer, so the values in the CSV file populate into those fields. Depending on the CLIN, additional columns of data may be required. If you are unsure of what data to include, check Section B of the RFP. Also, the Resources tab provides various information that may assist in narrowing the pricing results. For instance, the area of world AOW values. To price the CLINs in the Inventory IPVS.CSV file, click on the New Inventory button. Browse to and select the file to upload. Once the file has stopped processing, it is ready for review. To review, click on the file name. When ready to price, click on the Price tab. The columns that were present in the CSV file should be listed. To price, click the Price Inventory button. Confirm this is the layout you want and answer OK. Depending on the amount of data, the query might take a while to return the results. It is complete when the processing is no longer displayed. Once again, click on the file name. The view defaulted is the data upload. Click on the View drop-down for the price results. There is a download button available. You can also display the converted data. This view displays the inventory after conversion, which adds additional information to the file format for the pricing. If the pricing results returned no rows to display, click View, then Errors to determine what information is necessary that may not have been included. If there are no errors listed, check the View Non-Priced Rows. This view displays rows that were not priced and do not have any errors. An example is where vendors do not offer prices for the specified CLIN, location, quantity, etc. Inventories will also allow you to upload a file with a custom column. This column will be included with the results. For instance, adding a Comments column. When ready to price, click on the Price tab. The columns that were present in the CSV file should be listed. To price, click the Price Inventory button. Confirm this is the layout to use and click OK. The Comments column is now included in the price results. There are some additional actions that can assist in managing the price results. Click the Actions gear drop-down, and there is functionality where you can copy, rename, or delete an inventory. For additional help, visit the GSA EIS website at www.gsa.gov/EIS.